Welcome to Elementary and Intermediate Algebra, Chapter 2.3. In this chapter, I'll be covering what you need to know, and this chapter, you need to know the opposites of numbers, absolute value, and adding real numbers. So, opposites of numbers. The opposites of numbers is just the negative version of it, and the opposite of positive numbers are negative, and the opposite of negative numbers are positive, and two negative signs will cancel each other out. So what's the opposite of negative 3? As I said, it's just a negative version of it. So negative, it becomes negative 3. And negative 3 is just equal to 3 because the two negative signs will cancel each other. What's the opposite of 5? That's just negative 5 because it's just a negative version of it. And this one's tricky. What's negative 7? So as I said, two negative signs will cancel each other out. So these two will go away. And now there's just one negative sign left. And that just equals, and so the answer is just negative 7. The absolute value of a number is the distance that number is from 0 on the number line. And absolute values are always positive because negative distances don't exist. For example, negative 5 is 5 units away from 0, not negative 5 units. The absolute of a positive number is the same number, and the absolute value of a negative number is its opposite. What's the absolute value of 2, and what's the absolute value of negative 1? So usually when we symbolize taking the absolute value, we draw two vertical lines. So the absolute value of 2 is 2 sandwiched between two vertical lines. And the answer is just 2 because 2 is 2 units away from 0 in the number line. What's the absolute value of negative 1? We draw the two vertical lines again, and the answer is 1. Negative 1 is 1 unit away from 0, but the easiest way to do it is just take the positive version of it. Yeah, that's it for absolute value. So adding negative numbers. When we add 2 or more negative numbers, we first add the absolute values of all the numbers, and then we put a negative sign in front of it. So I did an example, negative 5 plus negative 5. So we just first add 5 and 5 because those are two absolute values, and then we stick a negative sign in front of it. So now it becomes negative parentheses 5 plus 5, and that's equal to negative 10. Adding a negative number to a positive number, we first subtract that smaller absolute value from the bigger one, and then the answer will have the same sign as the bigger one. So, for example, negative 3 plus 6. Negative 3 has a smaller absolute value, so we subtract 6 minus 3. And then we stick the same sign as the bigger one, and since 6 is positive, notice how I stuck a positive sign here, so it becomes positive, parentheses 6 minus 3, and the answer will just be 3. So let's understand how negative numbers work in real life. Negative numbers often represent taking away or losing something. For example, plus $5 means you have $5, but negative $5 means you owe someone $5. Also, remember that negatives also mean the opposite. For example, if I run forward negative 5 feet, it really means I ran backwards 5 feet. And just try to think about what the negatives mean in every situation. So the sum. The sum is just a term it's just a term that you need to know. So the sum of A and B is just equal to A and B added together. So basically the answer to addition problem. For example, find the sum of 5 and 6. We just add the two and we get the answer 11. We can also, for example, if the question said find the sum of 10 and 10, we just add 10 plus 10 and we'll get 20. So remember, when it says sum, just add the two numbers. So let's do some negative numbers practice. So the first question says, what is negative 10 plus 5? So we take this. First we need to locate which one has the bigger absolute value, and that's 10. So we subtract 5 from 10, 10 minus 5, and we take the sign of the bigger number, which is 10. We put that in front of the whole thing. So we get, when we do this problem, we'll get negative 5. So the same thing here, these two have different signs. So you take the bigger absolute value, which is 5, put the sign in front of it, and then we subtract a smaller absolute value from the bigger one. So 5 minus 3, and you'll get 2. That's our answer. So what is 2 plus 2? Trick question, there's no trick to it. It's just 4. And what is negative 2 plus negative 2? Since the two are the same sign and they're both negative, we just stick the negative in front of the whole thing. 2 plus 2, we get negative 4. Absolute value of negative 7, it's just the distance from the negative number line from 0, and for negative numbers, it's just the positive version of it. The answer is 7. So now this question says, right now I weigh 150 pounds, and after exercising, I now weigh 145. How much weight did I gain? So if you notice, I lost weight, but the question is asking how much weight did I gain. So the answer has to be negative, because you have to, if I gain negative weight, it means I lose weight. So the answer becomes 150 plus x is equal to 145. So this is an expression I'm setting up right now. So 150 is my original weight, and this is x is equal to the weight I gain, and my weight afterwards is 145. So this is an expression I'm setting up to solve this problem. So when we subtract 150, so now we have to subtract 150 from 145, and we'll get that x is equal to negative 5, which basically means I gained negative weight or I lost weight, and that's the easiest way to do it. So now let's learn how to use expressions with addition. Let's say I'm cooking chicken wings, and I initially have 10 cooked chicken wings. Let's let W be the number of chicken wings I cook after that. Create an expression that describes the number of chicken wings that can be eaten. So, this is actually very simple. So I initially have 10 chicken wings, and then right now I'm cooking chicken wings, so we just simply add W, because that's the number of chicken wings I'm cooking, and and this answer right here, that's the total number of cooked chicken wings that can be eaten. So now the next part says, let's let W equal 8. So now we substitute 8 into W, and we get the answer 18. So what does that mean? As I said, this expression describes the number of chicken wings that can be eaten. So the answer will be equal the number of chicken wings that can be eaten. So therefore there are 18 chicken wings total that can be eaten. And that's your answer, and yeah, that's it. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something from this video.